Hello, Bendy Bunch. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bendy, and here on this channel we practice flexibility of the mind, body, and spirit. I hope that today we are ready to be mentally flexible because we're going to talk about some concepts that go against the foundation of how we're taught to essentially live. To start, if you are having trouble manifesting what you are attempting to manifest, no matter what, it has to do with your ability to receive that thing. Now, blocks that we have against receiving can come from a plethora. I was trying not to say plethora because that word is so pretentious, but I love that word. So things that are blocking your ability to receive can come from a plethora of different limiting beliefs, yes, but it is from a hole in your belief system when it comes to how worthy you are of receiving whatever you are looking to attract, how worthy you are, or how possible you believe it is for you to attract that thing. So when we look at receiving, I think that it is very important to know that we live in a very selfish, man-made world. And because of this selfish personality that is kind of embedded in all of us through our culture, through our media, we become selfish people ourselves. And if your belief system has selfish values within it, that's going to block your ability to receive. And it's also going to block how much you believe that you are going to receive good things for just being you. So I think that there is a very simple, beautiful, logical solution to this. And what that is the ever true concept of oneness. We are all one. We are all made of particles, very, very tiny particles that are just vibrating like crazy, right? We are all made of the same type of particles. We are all made of the same type of atoms. We are all made of the same types of stuff at a molecular level. And what separates us is the definitions that we give things from our man-made mind. But I am you. You are me. You are your best friend. You are your partner. You are your worst enemy. You are the person that traumatized you in the 3rd grade. We are all one. We are one with the trees. We are one with the earth. We are one with the sea. We are one with the mountains. We are one with the animal. Everything is one thing. We're all experiencing this life in a different way. So when we understand that we are all one, it changes the perspective of how we look at others. And the way that we look at others is a reflection of how we believe people are looking at us. So if we do not believe that other people are worthy of something, we internally do not believe that we are worthy of that thing. So the reason that I wanted to talk about this was because today is the historical holiday of Thanksgiving. And I think that it's the perfect example of what I'm trying to illustrate. We all know the history of Thanksgiving, and we as a culture still celebrate it because a lot of people believe that it has to do with the birth of our country. Now, that being said, I want to just give a disclaimer. We're all at different levels of consciousness. I don't blame you for whatever level of consciousness you are at. I just wanted to share my perspective instead of just shouting on Facebook. So not that I would do that. That's like me 5 years ago. But we are all at different levels of consciousness, but we all know the truth of what Thanksgiving is, yet we still celebrate the holiday as an act of patriotism and what some argue as just a day of giving thanks, which I will get to. Now, that's all well and good for the people who have not been affected by colonizers, not colonialism, colonizers. And obviously, all non-white people have been affected by colonization, but in this specific topic, we're talking about indigenous people. So if you don't identify yourself as being an indigenous person, it's a lot easier to just say, oh, Thanksgiving's just a day when we eat. Thanksgiving's just a day when we celebrate each other. But one, the majority of non-black people or the majority of non-white people are indigenous. We don't know like what parts of ourselves are indigenous or like where it comes from, but the majority of non-white people in America do have some indigenous blood in them. Two, let's really look at that. Are we celebrating something that is putting another group of people in pain and forcing the pain of another group of people? And if that is what we are doing, can we step back and look at whether, I can only speak from my own experience and my own culture. I know that throughout my life as a Black person, I have been so frustrated with non-Black people who consider themselves allies, because I always felt like those allies were picking and choosing when they wanted to support my community or our community, or when they wanted to, like, what issues were just too much, where they couldn't support Black people, where they couldn't support the microaggressions that we are fighting against, and what was just going too far as an ally. That was always something that frustrated me, because as a Black person, I believe in the pain of the paradigm of my people, and I don't think that pain can be lifted by just Black people acknowledging the pain. I think that everyone has to acknowledge the pain and where the pain comes from. So feeling like I was hitting a wall when speaking to allies, it was just very, very frustrating, because there's the cognitive dissonance of, okay, I know that your people have been done wrong, but now we're getting to a point where it's making me uncomfortable, and I have to look at your pain as a reflection of my actions, right? So I feel like that's the territory we're getting into at Thanksgiving, where I saw a Facebook status, and it was by a Black person, and it was just like, it was a meme actually. A lot of people have shared it, and it's getting very popular. And it said, as a Black person, I do not support the colonization of America. On Thanksgiving, I just eat and spend time with my family and take it as a day to give thanks. And in my opinion, I feel like that is the same exact thing as, okay, I see that your people are in pain, but expanding my perspective anymore makes me uncomfortable. So I'm not going to see your pain. That's just how I feel about Thanksgiving, because at the end of the day, there are groups of people who this land belongs to, who are now on reservations, being forced to figure out their culture, figure out their languages, find resources. I highly encourage you to look up the rate of suicide on Indigenous reservations. I just highly encourage you to look at it so you can if you do not feel like you have a good understanding of the level of pain that occurs on these reservations, do research on it. And no, I'm not saying that there's pain in every reservation, but I do have Indigenous blood. I have cousins who are fully Indigenous people, and there are reservations where there's not electricity. Like, a lot of people do not know what people go through. So all this being said, let's bring it back to what I was saying about our ability to receive. We've been talking a lot about the concept of love, loving others, and making sure that we are not placing blocks up in our hearts to love others, because the love that we are capable of giving is the love that we are capable of receiving. I'm gonna say it one more time. The love that we are capable of giving is the love that we are capable of receiving. And the things that we are trying to manifest, at the end of the day, the things that we are trying to manifest would be a physical manifestation of the universe's love for us. So if we have blocks up in our hearts that discourage us from opening ourselves up to receive love, no matter how hard the energy, no matter how hard the universe is trying to send us what we want, no matter how much the energy is flowing and circulating, if we're not letting it in, it's not going to come. And letting it in does not come from just sitting and saying, I accept, I receive. That's a portion of it, absolutely. But letting it in has to do with belief systems. Do we believe that we are capable of love? Do we believe that other people are capable of love? Do we believe that every person is deserving of being treated fairly? Do we believe that we are deserving of being treated fairly? And the average person, because of ego, will say, yes, all men are created equal. Everyone deserves to live a good, happy life. But then going back to Thanksgiving, we are celebrating Thanksgiving, in my opinion, is supporting a culture that says only the people that benefit, only the people that benefit off of what America is now deserve to enjoy these special days. Only the people, or let me rephrase that, only the people who benefit off of America's current culture deserve to make the rules and decide what is acceptable and what's not. Those rules are not going to be based on love or what's good for everyone. Those rules are going to be based off of the people who benefit and the people who are in power. Years ago, when only white people were in power, they were the ones who made all the rules because they were the ones who benefited off of everything. But as power has been distributed, and of course the power is still not evenly distributed, but as the power has been distributed, more backgrounds have been able to have a say. And indigenous people are still so abused and abandoned on the soil that they I don't understand. I mean, I understand that a lot of us avoid getting down to the depth of what it means to ignore the struggle of indigenous people, but if you consider yourself spiritual, you can't ignore it. And when you think of oneness, put yourself in that person's shoes. The thing that breaks my heart about Thanksgiving is that it truly shows our lack of empathy as a people, because when something's done to us, we want support. But when someone else needs support, or when someone else asks us to change our lifestyle in order to stop causing pain, it's not worth it. But if the roles were reversed, we would be angry. And a lot of that makes confusion within the belief system. Wanting something for yourself, but not willing to give that to other people. So yes, I use Thanksgiving as an example, but when it comes to our ability to receive, let's just simplify it and bring it down to the very basic. Every human deserves safety and love. Every human deserves safety and love. So monitoring your thoughts and seeing which thoughts align with you deserving safety and love, and every single person in your life that you come across on television, in magazines, through gossip, through stories, whomever, they deserve love and safety as well. And whenever you have thoughts that do not align with every person deserving peace, love, and safety, you are blocking your ability to receive, because we are all one. When you say one person doesn't deserve this, you are internally saying that you don't deserve this. When we judge others, we judge ourselves. Okay? This was definitely just me talking. I don't know how much this video is going to make sense. I hope it makes sense to somebody. Yeah, you got it. You got it. One thing I love about this community is that I feel like we just all have such open hearts, and I hope that I show that when I have an idea, I'm not so married to the idea where I'm just like, I'm right, and that's it. I hope to be a person who is always expanding, who is always learning more, and who is always growing. So that's what I love about this community, because I see a reflection of that in the community too. We are all learning, we are all growing from each other. We're just all looking for answers instead of assuming that we already have the answers. And yeah, I just love it here. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up so other people on the platform know that it's valuable. Also, if you'd like me to expand on anything that I talked about in today's video, let me know down below. Last but not least, please make sure you are subscribed and that you click that notification bell so that you can become a reality bender yourself and join the Bendy Bunch. Okay, I will see you next time. Bye.